week, Monday, we got a report over the weekend of 5 cases with severe illness, 1 in the private sector and 4 in the public sector. And so we said it was important for us to determine what those cases were coming, what was the cause for those cases, and in particular, we said let's rule out the influenza viruses, particular attention to H1N1 and any of those subgroups. In Belize, we have the capability to do the initial screen, and we did that. However, we have the backup confirmatory arrangement with CARFA in Trinidad, and we use that facility.
From the 5 cases reported that Dr. Pitts mentioned, only 1 came back positive for H1N1, which is a patient that died last week, Monday. The other 2 cases are from Western region, H1N1 positive, but these patients are ambulatory patients that have recovered and they had no further complications. Of the other patients that were considered to be severe cases, one of the patients tested positive for adenovirus, which is another virus common in a common cold, and the other patient came back as no virus found. So that out of the 5 cases that we had suspected, there's only 1 case that can be attributed to being related directly to H1N1. Out of the 26 samples that have been done at Central Medical Lab as patients being swabbed because of the flu, 19 of those cases had no virus being found on the initial swab. So in point of fact, we did have 3 H1N1 positive cases and 1 death that can be linked to that person.
The normal pattern for diseases is that the majority of presentation are within the mild forms, and on the right, the tail end, you have very few. Perhaps I don't want to guess a number now, but what I could tell you that the report, for example, in Sacramento, 14 deaths related to H1N1, but then the number of cases might have been up more than 10,000. Okay, so that is the pattern that is emerging. The interesting thing, what we have said in 11 and 12, that H1N1 was operating like the seasonal influenza, but viruses can modify over a short space of time, and so every time you see a severe case, you have to look. But so far, the fatality rate, which is the trigger point, haven't been high, okay? And it is the responsiveness of the system, population along with doctors, that could keep those numbers down.